This is one of the biggest turning points in all of Maplestory's history, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Because of this post that we just got from Nexon, the GMS version of Maplestory, I honestly believe has become the best version of Maplestory, literally just because of this post. The biggest problems that we have had in this game have finally been addressed, so let's talk about it. So this post from Inkwell just got revealed last night, and I'm going to tell you the most important parts of it. I read the entire thing, every single word, so I'm here to tell you every single crazy thing that has changed. So essentially, Inkwell is this guy that has been working for Nexon for a really long time, but now he's been put in a position where he could focus on our GMS server and develop it. Essentially, he starts saying that we're very different from Korean Maplestory, and because we're very different, we require different amounts of development and a different outlook towards the game. And he says that basically he's been getting a lot of support for what he's been doing so far, and he wants to continue working hard, and that even if it's not easy, it doesn't matter. He's not going to take the easy road. So the first thing he talks about is the interactive world, and he talks about so many issues that the interactive world have had historically, and it's not as quote-unquote interactive as it might seem, which is pretty funny because if you remember the whole Niru situation, he essentially brings up almost all of the points that Niru himself brought up a few weeks ago. So I would strongly suggest, if you see Niru, if you see him stream, maybe just dropping a thank you for pointing out a lot of the issues, because it's hard to say whether these issues would have gone through without Niru's influence regardless. I personally think he did have an influence on Nexon, but I think a lot of haters will say that he didn't, but I just think that's just not true. I think he definitely did have an influence, so thank you so much, Niru, for mentioning all of these issues about interactive world. I personally don't play on interactive world, but I do recognize how important it is for the Maplestory experience. So the first thing he mentions is that certain items that cannot be traded will become traded, like Soul Urda, for example, which is massive. Like, that alone is insanely important, right? The second thing he talks about is the world merge. So they're planning to maybe do a world merge. They're not saying 100% that they're going to do it, but if they were to do some sort of world merge, they would merge all of the auction houses at once, which is a pretty cool thing because it allows each world to kind of still have its own identity and still have its own channels. But I think just a overall world merge into one super world is probably better. And they said if they were to do that, they might look into it by September 2025. So it's going to take a while, but it will probably be happening, which is a really good thing. And then the last thing is Frenzy Totem. I was really surprised when they mentioned Frenzy Totem. Like, they're just ripping the band-aid off. Like, this Frenzy Totem picture has so much aura, it's crazy. But basically what they're doing with Frenzy Totem is they're considering adding it back into the Marvel machine, making it available again, which is crazy. It hasn't been available in so long, thus why it's so incredibly expensive to get one. And they're planning to add items that are similar to Frenzy Totem that are easier to get. So think maybe something along the lines of like a coupon that gives frenzy effect for a certain amount of time. That's what I'm thinking. So something similar like that, which is crazy. These changes alone make the interactive world like literally playable. Like, it's not a unplayable version of the game. Just this alone has made the game playable. Now let's talk about the Maple Reward Shop. The Maple Reward Shop is something that has been so dog for so many years, and they're finally making it good. And I'm going to explain why it's so important for the Maple Reward Shop to be good. So on the interactive world, I'm not an interactive player, but I know for a fact that a lot of these items having a no limit change is incredibly important for the interactive world. So you could get these items whenever you want. Now, let's talk about the Heroic World and then overall. So Heroic World, they're adding the face and hair slot coupons and pet snack in the reward shop, which means you don't have to pay money to use multiple pets on your characters. This saves you so much money across all of your characters. So if you're somebody like me, or like an endgamer or something like that has a lot of boss mules, or you want to become an endgamer that has a lot of boss mules, previously you had to spend $2.50 on every single one of your characters to get multiple pets on them, which is crazy. Like, that adds so much. But now you don't have to do that anymore. They save you so much money. And this is actually crazy. The fact that they're adding 90-day transparency in the reward shop and there's no limit is so insane. Now, I know a lot of people don't buy an X, right? I completely get that. But for the people that do buy an X, I know so many players that they buy transparent NX on 12 of their boss meals on so many characters because this NX is so important for your look, right? A lot of people like dressing up their character, myself included. It makes me feel like I'm more into the game, right? I calculated that it saves you about $300 because of this. Since they're adding these to the reward shop, it literally saves you like $300 instead of buying transparent across all of your characters. Like, again, I know not a lot of people buy these transparents, but even for a new player that wants to get into the game on just one character, instead of buying like $20 to $25 worth of transparents, you could just buy them straight up from the reward shop. Like, that's such an insane option. It's so good. And on top of that, they're adding pets that you can get on your characters that last for 90 days in the reward shop. You don't even have to spend real money on pets. Like, it's crazy. You don't like it's so wild, especially for the boss meal meta. Having a pet that can buff you up makes things so much easier. They're even adding pets. And the best part out of all this is no limit to the water of life. So you could revive as many pets as you want every single month for free. This saves you so much money. So many people I know have spent hundreds of dollars on Wisp Wonderberry trying to get perm pets. Bro, this is essentially a perm pet that you can get for reward points. And you could revive it for free. For the first time ever, I could say that this game has become almost free to play. Almost. And I'll explain why almost. But basically, I would always tell people in the past, oh, is Reboot free to play? Is Reboot free to play? I'd say no, it's not free to play because you basically need to spend like $30 to $40 on getting 3 pets, on getting a pet snack so you can equip them, and getting pet upgrades so you can have 3 pets. Like, no, it's not technically for free because you need to buy pets. But now they have these pets available and the pet snack available, and you could revive them for free. So it makes it so much cheaper. It's not free though, because you probably still have to upgrade these pets. I don't know if they already come with upgrades, but if you do have to upgrade them, then you do have to buy the upgrades. But the upgrades are so cheap though, so it's gotten cheaper. But the main thing is still the vac pet. The vac pet's still really expensive, and if you want to get to end game, you pretty much need one. But yeah, I don't want to make it sound like I'm complaining. This is so enormous. I think the transparency is so slept on. It saves you so much money, and it makes you look better in the game, which makes you feel better. Like, I don't know if I'm like overthinking this, but I feel like if you look better, you feel better, and you enjoy the game more. At least for me. And this is actually pretty crazy. So we have been hyping up this Dreamer update coming on June 12th for so long now. They're actually not even calling it the Dreamer update anymore. We're gonna get like the aspects of the Dreamer update, like all the things that come with it, but we're not going to actually get an update called Dreamer. They're naming it something completely different, and they're gonna have like unique stuff for us in GMS, which is crazy. This has never happened before. Like, straight up, we've always just copy pasted from KMS. So now we're gonna get our own update with our own stuff in it as well. Like, that's kind of exciting, to be honest. We always know 6 months ahead of what's coming, and now there's going to be extra bonus stuff for us. Like, I feel like we're an actual region now. We're not just like a KMS puppet. Like, that's actually crazy. And then we already knew this, but basically this is just confirmation of no meso cap or anything like that. And then High Mountain. So this has been a topic of discussion for a while for a lot of players. Basically, the High Mountain is like, you could think of it as like this super tough monster park that you could do every week, and it gives you a lot of rewards, right? So it gives you like a ton of XP and resources, right? But the main issue that people were wondering about is if we're getting fragments from this as well, or just mesos. So they're confirming that we're not getting mesos from this, we're getting fragments, which is good. We want fragments. We don't need the mesos from this. The fragments are the main like OP thing about this. So it's super good. And last but certainly not least, I think this is the most important thing about this update that we're getting, is the addition of Grandis familiars in Cernium and Burnium, which is absolutely insane. So 9 months ago, I made a video saying how familiars are going to be this enormous problem for new players, and they're essentially impossible to get, right? I got called an idiot, stupid, fearmonger, blah, 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 blah. But here we are, right? Here we are. I was right. Fams were impossible. People have been complaining about them for so long, and now we finally got a solution. I genuinely believe the familiar problem was the biggest issue on this game by far, because they give you so much damage, and you can't get them because you need to go get your Hexa. Previously, the strategy was literally go hit 285, then make another character, get max drop on it, and go farm in Lamina on that character. Now that we have Cernium and Burnium fams, you can stay in Cernium and Burnium as long as you want and get as many fams as you want because you're still maxing your Hexa along the way. The problem with fams is that you couldn't max your Hexa as you were doing it. But now you can max your Hexa and do fams, albeit you are still getting an XP reduction because you're going to be staying in Cernium for a long time instead of moving on to like Odium, for example. But that doesn't matter that much. The point is, there's still an option to get fams and max your Hexa at the same time. So for somebody like me, I'm level 283, right? If I want to go back to Cernium and get fams, then I can. And it's not that troll because I could still get Hexa fragments and still max out my Hexa. If you're somebody who's new to the game, you could stay in Cernium all the way till 275 and it's not even bad. The XP is still good. The fragments are still good. The meso rate is still good. You could stay there all the way till 275 straight up, like, and get so many frags and get so much Hexa. Like, it's actually crazy. And for players who are somewhere in between, if you want to go back and get fams, let's say you're like level 280 or something, you want to go back and get some fams, by all means, go get them. You're not trolling because you can still get fragments as well. The reason fams were trolling to get before is because you wouldn't get fragments. You had to go to limb and you were just griefing your 6-drop progression. But now you can still get your 6-drop stuff. So like, this is such an enormous change, and they probably will add to the other regions in the future, to Arceus and Odium, Shangri-La, and so on, which is amazing. Like, finally this system is actually usable, and that all the people who have like so much boss damage with their fams, that people can actually catch up to them. People can actually play on that level without us being forced to just go back to limb, and it feels bad. Like, nobody ever wants to go back, you know what I mean? It's not good game design to go back. So finally we got Cernium and Burnium fams. Cannot stress how important it is. It even makes all your boss meals stronger just because you can get fams on them too. Like, this is just the craziest thing, straight up. Like, this is just the craziest thing. And there's going to be another special event that's happening on June 12th along with Dreamer. That's for us, exclusive for us as well. So we don't know anything about it, but it's probably going to be hype. And then the last thing is this Inkwell's thank you gift. This is available in the game right now. Right now it's available. If you go to the Maple event hall through the Dimensional Mirror and talk to the Maple admin, you can get all of these things right now if you want. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Inkwell, for literally saving our game. Like, this game has become so close to the point where I could actually recommend it to other people. I personally still think there's other issues in the game. Hey, if you want a video on what I think the biggest issues on this game is, please let me know, because I am more than happy to talk about it. And I'm not a doomer. Trust me, I'm not a doomer. I don't like to complain or anything, but there are objective issues still with this game that need to be addressed. But this fam thing, I think, is the biggest one. So I'm so happy to finally hear about it. And honestly, this Maple reward shop is so hyped. Like, I can't stress it enough. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and have a great day, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much to my members: Blazefire, Shooms, Uju, Shagad, Ravi Espa, Grim4K, Koga, Pabo, Piconir, Jesse, Niles, and Dante Victory. I appreciate you guys so much.